Hi, my name is Henrietta Young, and I am in the studio with Haleem.
This episode is sponsored by Yes Girl Events LV, a wedding planner and event coordinator based here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, for all of my brides out there, we know that you're busy planning your very big day, but you can't do it by yourself. At Yes Girl Events LV, every detail counts. And whether that detail is helping you in the very beginning or working with you all the way until the last dance, Yes Girl Events is the coordinator for you. To learn more, visit yesgirleventlv.com or on Instagram at yesgirleventsLV.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Haleem. We are back, finally back. Oh my God, it feels like forever. We are back in the studio, and look, I'm gonna start this thing off with a bang. We are in the studio for the first time in Las Vegas. Give me another clap for that. Give me another clap for that. Look, everybody can have a show in Vegas, and since they didn't book me to go have a show in Vegas, I created my own. But listen, for all y'all, this is almost 10 years of doing in the studio. First time doing it here in Vegas. I'm excited to be back. And because I'm here, I'm glad I have a special guest with me, Miss Henrietta Young. Y'all give a clap for her. Everybody put the claps in there for her. Henrietta, thanks for coming. No problem. Listen, I've watched this young lady here work, and more work. But it was a refreshing thing to see, because a lot of people complaining about what they can't do, how they can't do it. But I'm always seeing her make things happen. And so she's given us a lot of opportunities. We worked together. We built a phenomenal relationship over the last few years. Henrietta, let's talk to people about Yes Girl LV. But first and foremost, how you doing?
I am doing wonderful, and I am grateful for another day. So
yes, no problem. Look, this heat. How's this heat treating you?
Listen, I am not getting used to this heat. So every summer I will complain.
Me too. Me too.
But hey, we just gotta keep pushing.
And you spent a lot. You spent some time on the East Coast, living on the East Coast, right? Yes. So yeah, people keep saying we'll take the less the humidity. I don't know, but we still probably. I don't think it ever got to like 120. Even with the humidity.
No. And you know what? With the humidity over there, at least, it was good for your skin. But the heat over here is just dry.
So let's just talk it back. Like, you came over here to Vegas. How did you get to the point where you wanted to start Yes Girl? First of all, let's talk about what Yes Girl is, and then we go into how you what made you start it.
Sure. So what Yes Girl is, we're planning business, so we focus mainly on private events, specifically weddings, because why not? Las Vegas is the #1 wedding capital of the world.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I love everything celebration, everything related to love. I start my December and November because I want to watch all the romantic movies. So you name it, right?
Love it.
Yeah. So I wanted. So that's pretty much what Yes Girl is. We plan private celebrations, right?
Yeah.
We make sure we alleviate all the the burden or the stresses from the brides that are to be, because I was once that bride, so there's a pain point. And you said how we got about starting?
Yeah. How do you go about starting?
Okay, so my background is in computer information systems and business analysis, right? So I worked in IT before, and I always said I never want to be stuck behind the desk looking at a black screen. Coding is not my thing. I love people. Even though in IT project management, you work with people, I want to be out there. I want to celebrate life, because life is so fragile.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's not promised to anybody. So I wanted to be part of projects that celebrated love, celebrated people, and I wanted to be impactful.
Yeah.
That if I were to pass away, how did I leave my mark?
Yeah.
So that's why that company started.
The funny thing is, you have a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs today. and they just want to do it because of the passion, or they just want to do it because of whatever reason. They just don't want to work, period. They don't even have any money, but they don't want to go to work. So it's just, it's crazy, right? But one thing I heard you say that's very important. You said Vegas is the #1 place for weddings. A lot of people don't even think that deep. And it's just that simple. Like, do something that people want.
Yes.
You want to keep forcing something into the marketplace and saying, hey, I like this. I make the best fried chicken. I'm going to put my fried chicken out. And nobody wants fried chicken.
Right.
You created a business that obviously people in Vegas want.
Exactly. There is a demand. It's like, find a problem and solve it. And don't be scared and say, oh, it's oversaturated. What makes you unique is what's going to make you stand out, right? So if Burger King and McDonald's are next to each other, right? They both sell burgers, but it's two different things.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to start. So Vegas it's wedding capital. There's
Yes.
bread for everybody,
It's amazing. And then again, they don't look at the numbers. When you think about saying, okay, Vegas might have roughly 1 million people here, and then in a county about 3 or 4, but it's 40 million that come here every year. And you're doing a lot of work with people that's coming into the city. How was that transition when you first got into business here, finding the people that's coming in and getting yourself in front of them?
You know what? It was interesting because, again, there was that factor of like, okay, are you going to be successful? You're scared, right? But then once you get that 1 or 2 that believe in you, then you're like, well, why was I even scared? You were in your own way, right?
Yeah.
And you realize that people want to work with who they can relate to. And the moment I realized that, even with my couples coming from out of town, it was game over. So to me, that's actually exciting that I get to meet people from different parts of, because I'm not you can hear my accent, right? I'm from all the way from West Africa. So getting to meet people from different, states, different countries, different continents, to me, that's the fun in it all. So.
Yeah, I think it's definitely amazing, and people need to hear stuff like that because they always hearing somebody on social media trying to sell them a pipe dream, and and after they give them the pipe dream, here's the course behind it, and it's regular people that's winning. One of the things I like about you is that you're not afraid to work with other people. Why is it that? Because, that's a lot of, we don't want to partner with anybody. We don't want to work with other people. What made you feel that, like, hey, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to partner with people. I'm going to, more importantly, give advice to people too.
Absolutely. Again, being a minority, there are times where I've looked into, avenues of finding a mentor or looking at those things, and nobody ever gave me the time of day.
Yeah.
So I always want to make sure if I win, I want others to win. Because, again, there's enough to go around. If I eat, I want somebody else to eat. Let's create our own table, right? If you're not, welcome to a table, create your own table and things like that. So to me, it's just, let's all win together. Life is already hard as it is. So listen, if I know a little something, I'm going to share it.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's beautiful. Now, one of the biggest things that I see, you're married, and married couples and having businesses. People be running from that. So how have you been able to be successful being a mom and being married and running your business with your husband?
Oh, man, we could be here all day. But let me tell you, that is definitely, those are like waters that, you want to chatter cautiously because it is tough being, in business with your significant, other. We can sit here and say, oh, yeah, it's great. It's great. It's great because that's my best friend. But then, we're both very strong-willed, and he has a military background and I have a very strong will. So sometimes we butt heads for the right reasons, but it's a very tough thing to navigate. Not impossible, but difficult.
I understand. What would you say the biggest misconception about your business or your, in the field that you chose to go into business? What's the biggest misconception?
I think the biggest misconception is that everything is easy. Everything is easy. It's not. It really is not.
Yeah, it's I see that because everybody always see you do it, and if she can do it, I can do it.
Yes.
And that's not you don't have her story, you don't have her walk, you don't have her passion, you don't have her motivations, things that inspire. A lot of people you can't get into business just because you want to make some money.
Right.
It's easier to get a job a lot of times.
Right.
I promise you. Or go borrow it. It might be easier to borrow the money you need from somebody else, the bank, whoever, than start a business and actually make it successful. So don't think because you see somebody else winning,
Exactly.
you know, and the sad part, they never ask you.
How? Especially
They never
on
ask you that.
social media, right? They see the 10-second, reels or the 30 seconds or the 1 minute reels. Nobody sees the behind the scenes of, like, you know what I mean, trying to build your website, trying to, build your clientele, trying to find leads, trying to convert the leads, right? Trying to do the reels. I'm not a content creator, but heck, I've turned into one, right? Because as a small business, there's so many things so many hats you have to wear for it to be successful. So even though sometimes to somebody might look like, oh, they're successful or not as successful as somebody else, it's the behind the scenes is what people don't get to see.
Yeah.
Right. So being tenacious is one thing that you have to be in this game.
Definitely. I always say one of the biggest things entrepreneurs need is flexibility.
Oh, yes.
So in your business, talk about how that hits you on a regular basis. Have to be you've made a plan. You're a good businesswoman. You made a plan. You call. You checked everything twice. You talked to all your people, and still everything goes to hell the day of. How do you handle that?
I call myself the chaos whisperer, right? Because I've always had this thing to thrive under chaos, right? I never fluster. And, even checking once, twice, 3 times on the day of, things can go south, but you have to handle it gracefully, right? And so, again, with the IT background, the agile framework is, continuous iteration, continuous improvement. So you're not going to stick to a plan. You always have to be prepared for when things are going south. How can you adjust with a smile on your face? Nobody else knows it's going south, right? And just keep pushing. So, I just apply most of my concepts from the IT framework, the agile framework.
Now you're interviewing yourself, because I was about to ask you, how does that background that you have fit with what you're doing? But that's you answered it right there, because it's kind of crazy. Somebody IT, a lot of people don't want to be around people as an IT. They pick that job so they don't have to be around people. And so here you are being around people all the time. I wanted to know that. I'm like, okay, how did she do that? But you do have that type of, temperament, bubbly, somebody good, to fun to be around.
Absolutely.
Now you're raising your young man.
Yes.
When is he going to be a part of the business?
He already is.
You see him in there, oh my God, he's just look, y'all got to recognize me.
Exactly. He helps out. He wants to help out, and I can't say no. I'm like, it's not child labor. I promise he wants to do it. So he's a bust of energy too. So he helps out where he can.
The funny thing I asked about that, because people think that in entrepreneurship is a such thing as work-life balance, and I don't believe that. I believe that entrepreneurship is a lifestyle. Speak to that.
It is a lifestyle, and it can consume you real quick, right? Facts. I literally went to bed this morning at 6 a.m. On our way here, my husband was like, you need to stop doing this. You need to. But you know what? It's one of those things where it's hard to, it can consume you if you're not really careful.
Yeah.
It can consume you real quick, because you're always on a roller coaster, right? I have to do stuff in your home. You got to cook, you got to clean, you got to do laundry, you got to go grocery shopping, and you have to take care of clients. You have to build the business. You have to run the business. I finally was able to bring on a virtual assistant literally for the first time.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So those are, I'm trying to navigate that as well, because that's something new to me.
Yeah.
But I do realize that in order for me to be a CEO in my business and not just be a business operator, I have to start thinking strategically, right? And bring on the help that I need.
Yes.
It's hard because of my type of personality. You want to be in everything.
Yeah, you
but
know how you want
cannot.
it done. Yeah, you know how you want it done.
Yeah.
And they're never going to do it to your level, but we have to realize that our businesses are our babies.
Yes.
And you might want your child, once you raise them up, to be a thing, but they're going to be themselves.
Exactly.
And you just got to believe that you put in them what they need to have and to be successful and be okay. You're going to cringe. I wouldn't have picked that girl for him. I wouldn't have worn those clothes, but it's still it's him. Yes. And, I wouldn't have picked that major,
Right.
but he's not going to thrive in IT. He's going to thrive in it.
Exactly.
So the same with your business. You know, it's going to take on a life of its own. But
Exactly.
I want to encourage us to start thinking about selling our businesses. So start creating it and growing it so that you have a valuation so you can actually sell it.
Exactly. That's a really valid point, because most times we look at our businesses, especially in the service industry, right? You are the business. So thinking from a perspective of, okay, how can I separate myself from the business, you know, and if you want to be able to scale, you can't do it all, right? The more clients you start building on, you're just drowning yourself in work. Yep. So starting to separate ourselves from it so you can sell it, because you can't sell yourself, right? Yeah. You got to sell a process.
Even if you don't sell it to get rid of it, you can go to a bank and get finances, something because you have a valuation. This runs without me.
Exactly.
I have X amount of contracts for a certain amount of money. It's worth something. Your business has to be worth something. You are just creating a job if you don't do that.
Yes, that is so
And a lot of people are doing it. I have a book, my latest book that I wrote. It's called Business Corner, What's Really Needed to Survive the Entrepreneurial Fight.
Yes.
What has been the key thing that you had in your corner to help you survive this entrepreneurial fight?
Mindset. There are going to be days where there are tears that nobody sees.
Oh, yes.
There are going to be days where you're under the blankets and you don't want to get up.
Yes.
Because you have to face the world, right?
Yeah.
And the world doesn't see all those things. You still got to face the world with a smile. Because let's face it, nobody else really cares what's going on in your personal life except they really know you, right? They have their event and it's their priority, right?
Yep.
It's, if your leg is broken, show up and do mine.
Somebody else show up.
Yeah, so
handle it. Something gotta happen.
Exactly. So just the mindset, and once you, it's like going into a boxing ring. You brace yourself knowing that you're going to receive a punch. Yep. When you brace yourself, it doesn't mean you don't receive the punch. It doesn't hurt as much because you know it's coming.
Yep. Yeah.
So understanding that you're going to fall, but you fall forward, right? You're going to fail. You have to fail to find a solution. So just not being scared to fail is the mindset that's been a game changer for me.
Wow.
You know.
See, again, you interviewing yourself, because I was going to tell you leave the people with something before we close here. But listen, not being afraid to fail is definitely amazing, because people got it twisted. Like in entrepreneurship, failing is not failing, it's learning. When when something don't go right, you learn.
Yes.
And long as you have the opportunity to try it again, you will be successful.
Absolutely.
Doing business right works 99% of the time. It's only the reason why it doesn't work because we don't want to do it right. Correct. We want to do it our way. Success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. What's one clue that you can give them from your success we close out with?
What is one clue? You know what? If it worked one time, it can work again.
Come on.
Yes.
Come on. You want $1 million? Do that thing 1,000,000 times. Make $1 1,000,000 times. Keep rinsing and repeating.
Yes.
And you know, that's a scary thing that so many people don't think like that. Because we'll get some success. And then we got to do something else.
Right.
Like, no, it worked.
Exactly.
It worked. Why would you change?
Right. Don't reinvent
this
the wheel.
woman is making you happy. You don't need another one. You know what I'm saying? That man make you happy. You don't need another one. You know what I'm saying? That school is okay. Don't take your kid out of it. Like, everything is working. Absolutely. Keep it there. Same thing with your business. But Henrietta, thank you so much. Again, personally for me, as I said in the beginning, this is my first show here in Vegas. I've been doing this show since 2016.
I am honored.
And I'm honored that to be here, and the relationship that we already built over the last few years has been phenomenal. Looking forward to continuing doing some things. But this has been phenomenal for me. I know, and I respect what you guys are doing. I respect the relationship and how you guys work together. But just seeing a woman that's out here kicking ass and taking names.
That part.
And you know, you do it with a smile. It's not easy. I'm sure it's not easy. Knowing business, I know it's not easy. But and also Mason, shout out to Mason for being your support system in this situation, because he can easily say, hey, you don't have to do this. No, he is definitely your support system. So kudos to you guys. And it's just been a phenomenal time, you guys. And we're back. We are back doing this thing here in Vegas.